El Centro, California. Well, right now, with us on the telephone is Scott Dudley. You may know Scott from Let's Talk About It, and also from the Imperial County Behavioral Health Services Department. And we're going to be talking about what help might be available during this pandemic. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Carol. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning, and hope everybody's doing okay. Carol, KXO plays special requests, right? I mean, for the last 30 years, every time I really wanted to hear a song, I called you guys up, and you answered it. And I've got a special request today, if you're willing to play this for me.
I'll see what I can do.
All right. Well, this special request is for our entire community, and it's on behalf of, it goes out to the first responders in healthcare, in law, and fire. See, here's what I figure. You know, one of the things about COVID that has proven very true to everybody is it's basically has gone from days to weeks to months. Almost all of us at some point have been on our last nerve. Would you? How about you, Carol? Have you had a last nerve day in the middle of this crisis?
Every day, minute by minute.
The minutes, you know, I was talking to Chris Herring, who was your guest on Friday, and we're up to about 12 million seconds. So if you want to count seconds on this thing, it gets really big. Anyway, I think some of us are lucky enough to get the care, the rest, the exercise, the spiritual support to get off of that last nerve, right? But for others, you know, you stay on that last nerve long enough and it can get frayed. And my concern today with first responders is they have been standing up for us 24/7 for days, weeks, and now months, but they're human, and this isn't inexhaustible. And so what we want to do is we want to offer them something really special, but we need the community's help to get them to take advantage of it. So about 2 months ago, Behavioral Health opened up free situational confidential counseling to all first responders, healthcare, law, fire. And the idea is that this confidential counseling is designed to basically help a first responder get off their last nerve, figure out where they're at, give somebody to vent to, give them a moment of respite, and then figure out what to do, going forward with that. So it's free and it's confidential. So what I need everybody to do is I need everybody to grab a pen or a pencil and write this number down, and I'll give it out a couple times. But what we're going to do once we get the number written down is we're going to not put it in a hidden counter, bury it under something else. We're going to start sharing it. We're going to share it at the dinner table. We're going to share it on social media. We're going to, put it in the comment sections when we're watching, all the different agencies and venues talk about what's going on right now. So you got your pencil and paper? Here we go. The area, it's 442-265-1548. That's the number for the free and confidential situational counseling for any first responder. So any first responder can call that up and make an appointment. The appointments are done by phone. They're available throughout the week, including early evening. And let's give back to those who are saving lives, putting themselves at risk. And they've shown up for us 24/7 since it began in early March. All right, that's really my request today, Carol. I'm hoping that we can all respond to this and use the weight of our community to spread the number, to spread the care, and to let first responders know that it's okay to take care of yourself. I got a colleague of mine, Pastor Joe Garcia at Gateway Church up in Brawley, so adroitly pointed out, the stewards on a jet plane tell us in the event of a loss of cabin pressure that oxygen masks will deploy, right? And they urge us to place on our own oxygen mask before attempting to assist others. Well, we've got a bunch of first responders out there assisting others. Let's all of us take a deep breath in our oxygen mask and assist them. I think that's only fair, right?
Makes sense to me.
So that number again is 442-265-1548.
And if you're looking on YouTube, it's on the screen.
Oh, there you go. And then the other thing I think is important is you can stay in touch with Imperial County Behavioral Health through their Facebook page. We circle through and route a bunch of supportive information in terms of getting through COVID-15. We've got a 15-minute webinar for first responders up there. We've got informational notices about all of us and those of us with kids, and basically just tips on how to kind of get through this. Because, again, I think all of us thought in the beginning, well, it's just a couple of days, I'll be fine. And then the couple of days turned into a couple of weeks, and now it's a couple of months, and we're still not sure. So I think it's a good time to kind of stop and reflect. And one of the best things we can do for people in terms of our own mental health is to help other people. Because when we're busy helping other people, we tend not to worry about, our own perspective as much. So let's get those first responders out. Let's get them taking care of themselves and helping us through this crisis. So it's 442-265-1548. And neither Carroll or I are going to receive any commission on this. So don't worry about that. Don't let that influence your choice here.
What? I'm not going to get paid for that?
We talked about it a little bit. It's not going to work out. It's not. It turns out the counseling's free.
Okay, let's see if we can work it into next year's budget, okay?
Well, next year's budget will be a whole different series of shows, I'm afraid.
Yes. Okay, and, as you point out, first responders, okay, hey, I'm tough. I can handle this. I got to be strong. I got to be brave. Better than going home and kicking the dog or yelling at the kids. Talk to somebody. Let it out. And, one of the things that you kind of learned, or at least I did in the military, was, okay, if you can talk it out with people that have an understanding, or at least have an empathetic ear, then, you can get through it.
Well, you bring out a really important point, and I think that I think first responders don't want to dump it on their homes. It's one of those things. When you go home, do you kind of take everything irritating or stressful that happened to you in the course of the day and then go ahead and leave it on your family? Probably not. And they're sensitive to that. But the other point is important is that the first responder perspective is a very unique perspective. They are so adept at dealing with crises, and it's so intense that not very many people can understand their point of view. That's why we specially selected a counselor. This woman is amazing in her ability to kind of connect and deal with stuff like this. And we really hope, that each first responder who begins to feel like they're on their last nerve will take a second and call and just get an appointment and talk their way through it. That would be my wish for the community, right?
Okay. It's a great idea. And what about, Joe Citizen? A lot of folks coping with, it may be health issues, it may be family issues, so many other issues, and they are very difficult to address right now.
Well, absolutely, because one of the things that COVID has done is it's opened up a whole bunch of different categories of stressors. So, you've got economic stressors certainly affecting many people. You've got the inability to live your life the way you used to, so now you're getting bored, you're stuck at home maybe, and you weren't that kind of person. Even getting exercise and getting good sleep now, because if you're stuck at home, sometimes you stay up later, your sleep patterns get disrupted. All of these things are critical elements to mental health. And so it really starts, as much as anything, with self-monitoring. You really have to kind of look at yourself, and obviously, as this goes on, you have to look at yourself on a regular basis and say, how am I doing? Am I getting the rest I need? Am I getting the exercise I need? Am I eating healthy? Am I getting enough social relationships? And then, are there people who may be more limited than me, like my elder parents, for example, who really need me to reach out to them and be a part of their life because they're feeling unconnected and they don't even feel safe going out to the store? So I think that's really the key for us as adults, but it gets more complicated when you've got children in the home, right? So when you've got children in the home, you have to begin to, the interesting thing about this is we've got no model. Most of the things we learn about being parents, we learn from how our parents handled it. Our parents didn't have to handle it. So we as parents are the first generation to ever have something like a 4 or 5 month pandemic and children stuck at home because the schools are closed. It is really a very unique time. But then we have to kind of look at that and say, okay, how do we handle this so well that our children, grow from it and feel empowered by it and really grow up saying, when things were tough when I was a kid, my parents did this and this and this, and it really helped. So instead of just taking care of ourselves, now we have to look at how our messaging, how our behavior, how everything that we do reflects upon these kids who are now basically around us all day long. And that becomes kind of an interesting challenge, but one that I think we're up to. I mean, if nothing else in Imperial County, we are resilient. Who else has to make it through 110-degree summers, right? We're tough people. So figuring that out and doing it for our kids so that they grow up and have that same strength and resiliency becomes really important. And taking care of yourself is where it starts. And then if you find yourself being unable to do that, if you find yourself struggling regardless of your best attempts, then it's time to seek help. Then it's time to call behavioral health. Then it's time to look at getting the support you need to get through this, whatever it is and however long it lasts, right?
Well, we are not trained psychologists, but Scott, it's amazing the number of people that call us during the day and at night just wanting to talk. And right there is a very important step, wanting to talk.
Absolutely. And again, that's kind of one of the tricks that COVID played on us, was it shut down all of our social relationships other than those inside of our immediate house. And so, we've kind of come up with alternative ways of doing this. We're doing FaceTime, we're doing Zoom meetings, we're doing all the little kind of workarounds. But in some respects, it doesn't feel the same. And in some respects, we end up not feeling, like we've got that place where we can just kind of lay it out and have somebody validate it and say, hey, you know what, I'm going through the same thing and this is what I'm doing, or some kind of similar thing. So it has added to the struggle, for sure. And I'm really glad that KXO is here, because KXO has always kind of been that, third party in the room, if you will, with the radio on, that we have a relationship with. I mean, Tracy picked up the phone this morning. I knew it was Tracy right away when she picked up the phone.
And that is part of our reason here. But, and even at times, just an escape. We'll play something that'll bring back a memory and take you away for 2.5, 3 minutes. And sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. I've found that to be true. And even today, in the day of YouTube or whatever, I still appreciate the fact that I can call you guys up, and if I want to hear a song, you'll do your best to put it on for us.
Okay.
So let me give out for the general public, let's give out that number too. So if you're feeling like you really do need this support, you can call behavioral health. Our number is 1-800-817-5292. And that would get anyone an appointment or someone to talk to and start thinking about maybe that would help. But let me give the first responder number one more time, because that's really what I want to see. The area code's 442-265-1548. And we really want to get because first responders are going through a unique amount of effort to get this done. I know, and medical staff's been double shifted for quite a while. Law enforcement and fire. Lots of times when they're going in on calls now, guess what the calls involve? That's right, COVID. So, you think about that, and they've got families, and they've got lives, and you think about the worries that we go through just going out shopping or doing our jobs. Their job involves a lot of risk all of the time. And we want to honor that and get them the help they need, if they need that help. Just someone to get them off their last nerve. It's free, it's confidential, it's over the phone. I hope everybody takes advantage.
Just somebody to talk to. Sometimes that's all you need.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thanks for
Scott.
having me aboard today, Carroll.
We do appreciate the visit this morning, Scott. And, the information is, it's there. The help is there. not only for first responders, but for anybody else. And, okay, add on top of the pandemic, some 30-plus structures destroyed last night, early this morning, as fires swept through Nyland. Again, some people are going to need some help here. So
our chief, who's basically running the Emergency Operations Center for the COVID response, he got about a half hour of shower time before he came in to work this morning, but he didn't get any sleep. That's the kind of day, that's the kind of night it was for the firefighters. So.
Okay, well, we know who he can talk to now, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Carol.
Scott, we appreciate the visit. Make sure it's a good day.
All righty. You too, sir. Stay healthy.
The Imperial